Alright, here we are. I've got this set up. So we're now at this heap of toys. We've done some things and ended up here. We're trying to get down here to this train area in order to get a blanket that we see that we need to get. I've got the board set up. It did instruct us to draw a sleep card, and fortunately that sleep card, it says sleeping, so nothing happens. So that's good. So we're going to set that to the side. That's basically discarded out of the sleeping deck. So that's where we're at with that. So we're good there. And we're going to start with Stitch. Now there is some special rules here. Difficult terrain when moving on a heap of toys, which is basically anywhere but the train tracks, with the exception of maybe this space over here. Pretty much anywhere on the board. If you don't use a green die, you lose one stuffing for each space you move. So basically we want to draw a green die. We do have a couple of points of interest here and here. We do have a search value of 4, so if we wanted to search, we could do that. From the previous book, we cleared the minions, reshuffled the deck, got rid of everything dice-wise on this board, but all the stuffies kept the dice they already had, and so that's where we're starting. So we are going to start with Stitch, who's going to draw. Oops, let's put this back over here. And he's going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So he's going to roll for stuffing. Got a 5, and he is at 5, so that actually does gain him 1 stuffing. So whoop, he goes up, so that's good. And then we have a threat die. Goes here. So now we can do movement. Now, remember the difficult terrain says, we got a green and 2 reds left. Difficult terrain says, when moving on the heap of toys, the stuffy loses 1 stuffing for each non-green die used to move. So we could, he's going to encourage with one of those red die to flops who has nothing, so there's something there. And he got that extra stuffing, so I think it's going to be worth it for him to move both of these. So let's start moving towards the train. We have a 5, 6, 7, 8. So the question is, do we want to talk to somebody, potentially have some sort of conversation, or just go straight down? 1, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and let's just have a conversation. Let's just go ahead and do that. So we pull the deck for the conversation. So here's the conversation. I forget the specific name, but these have all been shuffled. Give it a quick shuffle again. All right. And we're going to go with the top one. So this is the horrible hair. So I'm not going to show you what the card is, but basically we have 3 choices. Give him 1 stuffing, give him 2 stuffing, or don't help him at all. Now, I just messed this up, because actually what's supposed to happen is, so you have the card and you have the story. Somebody else is supposed to draw the card and then give you the choice, and then you pick it before you see the results. So, So since there's 3 results, I'll just use one of these dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the first, second, third result. So we picked the first one. You could have, we give him a stuffing. So we're going to lose 1 for traveling, which we've not lost yet. Then we're going to lose 1 more for giving him stuffing. And that's all there is. So that was not beneficial. Then we use 3. Question is, do we want to talk to somebody else or just go ahead and get to the train? Yeah, I think we're just gonna move. We're gonna move down here. That was a really good roll. So, when that happens, I'm gonna read this section over here. All right, so cool. We'll check threat. So basically now we can continue the story anytime we want to, but I think I want to maybe take a couple turns potentially to search, maybe have another conversation while we're here. So we're going to do that. So those dice go to the side, and that completes Stitch's turn. And we can basically choose at this point, unless something else happens, to change this, leave, and continue our story on at any point in time. So we're just going to keep on keeping on. So next up is Theodora. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh wow, that's actually pretty good. So, Theodora's going to search with 2 because we don't have any stuffing. We don't have to place threat. So she's going to use a search action. 4, 5. Our target is 4, so that worked. So what happens now is we go to the search deck. And here's the search deck. I'm going to give it another quick shuffle just so you see it on camera. And we get to draw from the top of this deck. And we have jump rope. Red and green lines are considered dotted lines while moving. It's an accessory. Interesting. So she'll hold on to that, I suppose. No reason not to. So that was good roll there. And I think we may search again. Yeah, we might as well. So we're going to use these 2 purple also to search. Plenty. We'll draw another card, and this time we get blocks. Oh, okay. Let's see here. So this is another miscellaneous that says when drawing a lost card, gain 1 heart. Now the problem is our jump rope is an accessory already. So this jump rope is going to make movement easier. These blocks would make a lost card. That's what these icons are, these conversations that we have. She can gain hearts, which are really good. As much as I like the jump rope, I think I'm going to go with the blocks. So this item card is discarded because she cannot have 2 of the same type. They both are accessories. So that's that. Those are used. And actually, once per turn, when taking a turn with Theodora, you may swap one of your attribute dice for an attribute dice in the discard pool. So the discard pool is what was discarded up to that point in previous rounds, and there is a green die there. So I think I'm actually going to swap this blue die for the green die, and then I'm going to roll it, hoping 1, 2, 3 that I get a 4 or better to have this conversation over here. Wow, okay, that's a 1. We'll go ahead and move, but it's not really probably going to do any good. That's used. Now we discard. Technically, the dice. Just let me show you this, because this actually kind of caught me out on the first couple times I played. Up to this point, these dice are what we have discarded. We'll put those right there. This is the discard pool. We gave one away to flops, and then we had these 4. Theodora was using these. We roll these to get the results, and then they kind of sit over here, kind of like maybe in a, just imagine a third area. They don't actually get discarded until the end of her turn. So when Theodora's power says, when taking a turn with Theodora, you may swap one of your attribute dice for an attribute dice in the discard pool. Technically, these dice that she's already used haven't gone into the discard pool, so we cannot pick these again. So if maybe we wanted another red and there wasn't a red in here, but we had already used one, we couldn't double it up. So that's important. So we've done her turn. Boom. Everything's out. Theodora's completed. We check threat. No minions. On to Lumpy's turn. Alright, and so Lumpy is going to draw. Shake them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. 5. Not a whole lot of help. So we have stuffing. We'll roll that. That's a 5, 2, 3, 4. That is what he has. So that's going to go to 6. Which is going to be awesome. Threat die. Black threat die does go here. And we're going to roll for movement with the green. Might as well. 1, 2. It's going to be worth it to have a conversation. Probably not. We're going to go ahead and discard. It's going to end his. We're going to check the threat. There is no threat. But because of down here, we can actually now go on to the next page, because we've met the requirements there. The requirements were where was it at? Oh no, that's not right. No, all aboard. Special rules. It requires a red board. You can travel to Brahma at the end of any player's turn as long as there are no minions in play. So we have one of two options. We can still try to get on the train. I misread that. Okay, so let's just keep trying to get on the train, I suppose. So actually having, yeah. Well, we're just gonna do it. So Lumpy goes. That's the end of Lumpy's turn. The threat's still good. We go to flops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so white die, flops goes 2, so there's no stuffing there. Threat goes on the threat die. I'm going to use a green and a blue. We're going to use the green and the blue to move. We move up to 9, but we are going to lose a stuffing. But flops can 1, 2. Well, let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, not enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, gonna move here with a 9, and then use another move with a red, because it says it requires using a red die to move onto the train, and then if they're all on there, then things happen. So, I'm gonna use boom, and he is now on the train. So, there we go. That's all the dice. Then we go, that was flops. So now we're going to go to stitch. So flops, and so now we kind of start everything over again. So we're starting with stitch. And what I'm going to do, I think just to make this easier, just so because the order's going to change, whatever what we consider the first in the rotation is, I'm going to put this 1 on them so that everybody will know and see that. So stitch is going to go. This is probably going to work out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to work out horribly. Rolls 1, 2, 3, 4. Does not have enough. So he does not get any stuffing. We put the die there. Now we have movement die. Well, before I do that, I really should search. So we're going to use this to search. Oh, wow. That's a 2. With his bonus with the number 2 pencil, so that does no good. The red is going to let him get up here. And the green is not going to really do him any good, so that'll go away. So now we check threat. Now we have a surge. So what that means is, first surge, we go to section 7.3. You watch in dismay as the train lumbers away, clickety-clacking down the mishap tracks. Remove the train token from play. Any stuff on the train token will be placed on the track near the edge where the train left. So we'll just put them, I guess, here. So the train got away before we could get on it, which is unfortunate. I don't think I've been able to get on the train the 2 or 3 times that I've played. And then it says generate a random encounter. So I'll get that set up and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so I've got this set up. So we have a random encounter. Now, once we defeat these minions, assuming another surge doesn't happen, we will be able to go to the next story. So this was a good example of the press your luck mechanism, I guess, in a way, and that completes Stitch's turn. This is the end of his turn. In that, I could have just went ahead and chose to go on earlier, but I was trying to find the loots and talk and stuff, and that did not benefit me this time, but maybe next time it will. Hopefully next time it will. So, having said that, let's go to Theodora and go back down to the table and see what we can do. So here we are. I have the 4 minions. I know it's kind of hard to see over here in the corner. We have a Dark Heart, 2 Crawlies, which we've seen in a Mongrel. Just this mech thing that's kind of... I don't know if I can really open that up a little bit. Yeah, make it a little bit easier to see. So they're all over here. So we're going to start from the top with Dark Heart, which is right here. And we're going to roll it. Oops. Roll it over here. That's a 2. 2 is Haunting Gibberish. Moves 3. Attacks with a range of 5. Wow. So moves 3. So we're going to look at the closest Stuffy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually going to go towards Stitches. It's going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. And it's going to attack with in range 5, which it has plenty of room to do. 5's gonna be rough. Yep. So it's gonna target the closest Stuffy, which in this case obviously is still Stitches. The way the attacks go, it could theoretically move and then be equidistant. For instance, if there had been somebody here, he would have then been equidistant. Let's say, for example, Flops had been here. He would have been equidistant to Flops, and then we could have chosen which one we want to take the hit. But as it stands, he's going to attack Stitches. That is an attack with a 4. Stitches, fortunately has a die here, a yellow die that we saved earlier, so he's going to roll this die for defense. Oh my goodness. That was a 6. So he does manage to block. If he had failed, then what would have happened was, if he'd lost any stuffing, he would have got a worried card, which would have not been good. That's a status effect on him. So that's the dark card. Next, we're going to go with a Crawley. This is a normal Crawley. This is the square. That's this guy right here that you can just barely see behind the mongrel. So he's going to roll. He rolled a 4. That's clickety, so he's going to move 3 spaces. Move towards the nearest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's equal distance, so we can choose. We're going to choose to send him towards Lumpy, because Lumpy says A, bring it, and B, he gets a defensive reroll. So that's what he's going to do. Oh wow, I missed this from the first time. So that was 3, and that's an attack of 4. So Theodora will be rolling defense. She has a yellow die that she had saved before. Wow. It's another 6. So successfully blocks. It says after this Crawley attacks, move it 3 spaces toward the closest space that it came in. So it's actually going to go 1, 2, 3 back. Let's see, we can go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll do that. Next is this hexagonal Crawley. Wow, that's a 6. So that is going to be also the same thing, clickety. Clearly the closest stuffy within 3, 1, 2, and he can stop right there. Actually, I guess he technically goes 3. Yeah. Actually, it stops right here because doesn't necessarily have to max it out as long as it becomes adjacent. That's when it stops. So he's going to move there. Again, Stitches. Wow, Stitches is taking on some hits. It's going to take 4, so he's going to roll again. 3. So unfortunately, he did not block them all, so he takes 1 stuffing damage. This die, because he did not block them all, goes to the discarded dice pool. And this Crawley, 1, 2, 3, moves back here. Finally, the mongrel. That is this dude right here. And he's going to roll. Roll over here where you guys can see it. Golly. You guys can see it. 5. So that is rush. He's going to move 7 towards the closest. 2, 3, 4. And he'll be there, or 1, 2, 3. So he's going here. Actually, yes, yeah, going there. So then that is a 4 range 1. So there's only 1 within range. Attack of 4. That means Lumpy gets to roll his blue die. But that's a 1. That's horrible. Use this ability after rolling the dice for Lumpy. You may reroll 1 or more blue dice. You must keep your second roll. So he's going to get to reroll that. 4. Yes. He blocked all the damage. Good job, Lumpy. So here we go. That takes care of that. That is the end of the minions attacking. So all the dice go back into the bag. Here we go. Slowly, slowly, slowly into the bag. Whew, that was a bit brutal. We're gonna give it a good shake. And next up is Theodora. So Theodora is gonna pull 1, 2. Oh, that's not good. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we have to roll. We'll just set these to the side for now. The white, we have to roll 4. That is, currently she only has 2 stuffing, so she does gain a stuffing. This is good. And it goes to the side. Threat die has to be placed, so we need to place 1. Then we have a purple, a yellow, and a green. Well, I think we probably definitely need to use 1 to move. So we'll use the green to move 1, which is horrible, but that is enough to get there, close. Then we're going to use the yellow. No, we're going to use the purple wild as a red to try to attack the mongrel. And, well, I didn't really roll that, but we'll let it stand. That's a 2. We needed a 6, so that is not enough. And then we have the yellow die, which we could use to search, so I guess we might as well. And, of course, that's not enough either. So, whoop. Turns over. All the dice go to the discard pool. Check threat. We do not have an equal to the number of minions, so that takes care of Theodora. Next we go to Lumpy, who draws 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wow, Lumpy's gonna go ham. Okay, so Lumpy's got the meat mallet. He is definitely. Oh man. So the question is, do we want to like guarantee? Alright, Lumpy's going to attack the mongrel. He's going to roll a purple. Let me set these off to the side. He's going to roll a purple and a red to try to take him out. With the meat mallet, he's going to get a +1 to the red die. If he's able to defeat the mongrel, he'll get an additional stuffing. So we're hoping he can do that. So we're going to roll both of these. 2, 4, 5 with the bonus. And yeah, he did not do that. Wow. Okay. Well, we might as well try with the one other red he's got. And that is a 2. Also not enough. Wow, that's so disappointing. He's going to give Stitch with an encourage action 1 of the dice. And the other blue dice is just going to be discarded. And at the end of his turn, discard dice. They go to the discard pool, check threat. Our threat's still good. We only have 1 on the track. His turn is complete. And we now go to flops. Give it a good shaky shake. And we got 3, 4. Oh man, this is not good. So 2, well, let's do this in order. 2 black and a white. I'm just going to do these kind of at the same time. So 2 black go to the track. We roll for stuffing. For flops, we roll a 2. He has plenty, so that does no good. And so he's going to do a ranged attack against the dark card. I think that's going to be the best thing he can do. He gets a +2 here. So he's going to roll +2 with this green die. Oh my gosh. Use the ability after rolling dice for flops. You may reroll 1 or more green dice. You must keep your second roll. So he's definitely going to do that. Wow. And he rolled 2. Wow, that's horrible. He's going to use the encourage action to give the blue die to actually himself. Get rid of, whoops, the red die he's got just to potentially get it back in the bag for somebody else. Maybe later. Check, that's, alright, so that's done. We discard our dice to discard pool. We check threat. Let's check the threat just so you guys can see what is going on. The threat 3 of the 4, we get 1 more threat, and we have to do a fight. This is the situation that we're in. So we've got Stitches here, Flops here, and then of course Lumpy and Theodora here. Yeah, so that's not good. So let's go back down. And that completed Flops' turn. So we're back to our cycle. So I'm going to pull these tokens off for myself. And we're going to start with Flops, who we're going to give that a good shake. And Flops is going to pull. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. No black, no black, no black. I said Flops. I didn't mean Flops. I meant Stitch. So, yeah. Now, we're definitely going to have a minion turn at the end of this. So, Stitch gets to roll. For stuffing, he's got a 4. He has 3, so it does add 1 stuffing. You guys can't see. Oops. See that? There's the 4. So he does get 1 stuffing. That's good. So he's definitely, I think, he's gonna have to attack. We're gonna use this purple die that he had as a ranged attack. So we're looking for. Oh, that's not gonna work. Yep. Okay. So. Question is, do we really? So I have a couple options here. I could give this red die, which is this die, I could give it to Theodora. Let's go back up top. It's easier to see this way. So if I give this red die to Theodora, this yellow one's going to go back into the potential discard pool. But she could use it as an attack die to really kind of guarantee a hit. And if Lumpy could maybe kind of take the hits over here from the mongrel and the clack, maybe, just to try to guarantee a destruction of the mongrel. Oh, man, yeah, I think we want to do that. I know that sounds crazy, but I think we're going to do that. And then I guess Stitch is going to roll a search, because that's really honestly the only thing he can do. Oh, wow. So, yeah, search was definitely successful. We'll draw a card. He gets the teapot. Ooh, bonus. When defending, add +2 to red dice results. This stuff you can only attack. Oh, using melee weapons. So the question is, do we want to equip it or not? Wow, that's tough. Okay, yeah. So, one of the things that you can do with these cards is as soon with a search, if you get it, you can either equip it or you can give it to another Stuffy. So I'm actually going to give this to Theodora, I think. Because Theodora is already basically going to be using melee weapons anyway, so it makes the most sense because it doesn't really affect, and it gives red die +2 to defend. So that's I think that's going to be the best use of that. That is the end. That is the end of his Stitch's turn. We discard dice. We check threat. Let me go ahead and put this here so I don't forget. And that's right. Time for everything to go. So we're going to start with a dark card. It's going to roll a 3. That is Haunting Gibberish. It's going to move 3 towards the closest. Well, it doesn't go anywhere because he's already beside Stitch. It's going to attack the closest with 4 damage. Stitch is going to get to roll his defense, which is a 4, so he keeps it and doesn't take damage. That's awesome. We need to get these guys off the board, but that's awesome. Crawley, this is the square Crawley, so this one right here. He's going to roll. He's going to get Rush, so he's going to move 6. The closest is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, Stitch. 1, 2, 3. And then it's going to attack the closest, which again is Stitch for 3. Stitch is going to get to roll. Ooh. Only block 2, so he does take 1 stuffing damage. That was Rush, so it stays there. This is going to roll, and it rolls clickety. It does an attack towards the closest stuffy. And it's not going to move if it's adjacent to something already, so it stays there. Stitch gets attacked for 4. He does not have any kind of defense. Yep. So Stitch is unfortunately collapsed. So we're going to turn him over. And this triggers a couple of things that we have not seen yet. Alright, so we turn him over. That's number 1. Number 2, once he's turned over, any hearts, which we don't have, and buttons are discarded. So he's going to lose the button. Then, after that, we reveal a sleep card, and it is sleeping, so that's good. Just double checking something there. I guess. Okay. So he loses that. So now he can take his turn. Nothing happens on his turn. He'll draw the dice, but he can't take any actions until he gets stuffing. Stuffing can be gotten from the normal white dice, or another stuffy can opt to hand him some as normal. So that's not good for him. The mongrel gets a 4. That's Rush. It's going to attack the closest. It's going to attack, we'll say, Lumpy. So Lumpy is going to try to defend against a 4 damage attack. Oh, wow. And with a 1, certainly fails. Takes 3. And that is all sorts of unfortunate. But he's not knocked out, which is good. But it's definitely unfortunate. Whew, that's rough. Alright. So, having done that, finished out that minion turn, everything goes back into the bag. Boom, boom, boom. And we go on to Theodora's turn. Alright, give it a good shuffle. 5 for Theodora. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4, 5. Ah, already got a green die, a black die. That's no good. Let's go back to the table. Okay, so I think the first thing we need to do is we need to attack this here mongrel. Definitely. So we're going to go ahead and roll that, and I want to get a 6. I'm going to get +1. I'm gonna roll both to make sure we get rid of it. Ah, really? Okay, well, it's definitely gone. That's good. So we're gonna take that off the track. Take that off the board. I think we can use the green die to move. I keep rolling in the wrong place. Oops, it's a 6. So wow, she can move anywhere. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna give the blue die to Lumpy, I think. Yep. It's gonna be the end of Theodora's turn. All the dice go to the discard pool. Check threat. There's 3 minions. We only have 1 black die, so we're good there. Next up is Lumpy. So there's 3. Oops. Pulled out 2. Just need to pull. Didn't do it again. Just need to do 1. We'll do that one. Okay. Not exactly what I wanted, but better than nothing. So we get to roll 2 yellow, a purple, and a red. So we get to roll white 4. That is enough to get him another stuffing. Now, I think we're going to roll the purple as a green die for movement. She gets 1, 2, 3. Gives him options. I think he's going to attack the. Now he's going to attack something he can hit. I don't know why that's been used there. He's going to attack this Crawley right here. Let's see, let's move this up just a little bit for you guys. There you go. He's going to attack this Crawley right here. Looking for a 5. And he gets +1 because of his mallet, and that is a miss. He's going to go ahead and use the dice 1 at a time to search. Looking for a 4+. Got a 1. That one didn't work. Second one is a 3. Okay, should have put those together. Alright, that was his turn. Dice go to the discard pool. We check threat. We're good to go there. Not anything major going on there. We'll mark him as done. And now we go to flops. Who's going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4, 5. Now we can do something here. He's going to roll for stuffing. He rolled a 4. So he's off here. Not enough to give him any additional stuffing. So he's going to use this red one. He's going to discard it to use the encourage action. Take one of his stuffing and hand it to Stitch. So Stitch is going to be able to take actions now. Flops is then going to use a purple and a green to attack the the Dark Heart. So that's going to get a +2 on the green die, nothing on the purple. We're going to use it as a green. It's 5, 6, 7, which is actually enough to hit the Dark Heart. So we have more than enough. So the Dark Heart is taken away. Yay. Button goes to flops. I think I might have, now looking at this, missed one at some point. Then we're going to go ahead and use this last green die to also try to hit the Crawley. It goes out. The one that's closest here. So this hexagon on, so he's going to roll that. He gets +2 to that. And that is a 6. He needed a 5, so that is taken out. That is another button for flops. Wow. He is doing the most. That's all his dice. We discard the dice pool. Oops. We check threat. And threat's still good. We have 2 minions on the board. We have no minions on the board. Wait. The square one's still there. Forgot to take that one off. Haha, we do have 1 on the board. Dadgummit. So guess what that means? It gets to go. So let's roll for it. It rolls a 4. That's clickety. It moves 3, but it's close to lumpy, so it actually doesn't move. Does 4 damage. Lumpy's going to roll defense and rolls a 4, so he blocks it and gets to keep his die. That was Flops' turn. That was the minion's turn. So go back up top. So that means that the dice go back into the dice bag. Except for the ones, obviously, that are on the stuffy boards. Give it a shake. And we start over. And we only have Stitches starting out. He only has one stuffing, but he has 1 stuffing, which means he does get to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Really? Oh. Okay, well, this is not any good. Well, no, this will work. It's not great, but it will work. So on his turn, he's going to use every single one of these dice. No, he's going to give himself 1 for defense to use later. He's going to roll this green and purple for a ranged attack of 3, because that's his reach is 3 with a double number 2. And looking for a 5 or better. There's a 5 and a 1, which is technically a 7 and a 1 because of his, or a 6 and a 1. So it's 7 total because of his number 2, which is more than enough to take out the Crawly. So he does take out the Crawly. Whew. And that's his discard dice, so he discards the dice. Check threat. Now, here's the crazy thing. Oh, this comes off, my bad. Check threat. There are no minions. So we check the number of dice against the stuffies. It does not meet the value of the number of stuffies. Meters exceed. So we are finally, and whose turn were we on? We were on Stitches. So it is finally, we can go to the next page. Thank you. Go on to the next page in the story. I'll get it set up, and I will let you know in 3, 2, 1.